The Evermore podcast is now sponsored by WFST Total Compliance. WFST provides fire safety requirements UK-wide to prepare you and your employees should the worst happen. Do what you do best and visit wfst.co.uk today. Enjoy the episode. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Evermore YouTube channel. It's Chris back with a match reaction. Oh my word, fireworks night may be tomorrow, but there was some serious fireworks tonight at St James's Park as Newcastle United got a brilliant victory against Arsenal at St James's Park, despite of one of the worst refereeing performances I think I've ever seen in the Premier League. We'll get stuck right into this quick match reaction, about half an hour or so. We'll get stuck right into this in a minute as we do a little bit of housekeeping. If you're new to the channel, just check us out for the first time. What a great one to catch out on. This is going to be a good one. There was a lot of stuff going on in that game. Smash subscribe, come and join us. We're over 5,500 subs. Loads of room for you and Evermore. We've got loads of Newcastle United content, post-match reactions like you're just about to watch, previews, transfer videos, what's going on as a live show every Monday night. So hang around, click the button. Why not? You'll not regret it. We're going to get stuck right in. We are live, as I say. There's loads of you in the comments already. We're going to get stuck into these in a minute. I think George was in early doors as well, having a good chat with Mark, I think, on the some of the calls in that game. We don't do watch-alongs, to be fair, but you were having a good chat with George. Yeah, absolutely awesome, unbelievable. Yeah, definitely a couple of reds. I'll get stuck into that in a minute. Big shout out for George, who was in earlier on. Yeah, absolutely grinding out a result against the top side, which was superb. To be fair, we've got A. Gill in the house. How are the lads? Absolutely. And you're right, Jack, it was a proper battle. It was a bit of throwback, really, to the 90s when football was class again, you know, so I really did enjoy it. So let's get stuck in then. So how did the lads line up? So this is how we're lined up. As you can see there, it was pretty much what we called, going back to what you would call our strongest 11, so to speak. Some really nice surprises as well on the bench. Jacob Murphy, more of that in a minute, but Jacob Murphy coming back really quickly from the shoulder injury, which was brilliant for the squad. And nice to see Louis Miley back in there as well. Real talented young lad, and gives us a lot more kind of depth in that midfield position if, for whatever reason, we need to change it. If, for example, our star midfielder loses his head. More on that in a minute as well. But yeah, that was the starting lineup going in to the game. Obviously, Arsenal, you know, lined up strong as they always do. Raya came in for Ramsdale after the midweek cup game, but yeah, it was a real decent game. I think for the neutral, it was a brilliant game. To be fair, it was end-to-end stuff, really. You know, high intensity, high octane. Tackles flying in left, right, and centre. A bit stuck in that in a minute, a bit more. But yeah, I thought the referee, Stuart Atwell, was fucking dreadful for both sides, in all fairness, in the game. That's the negative part of the first half. The positive part was we used the ball quite well. We stretched Arsenal. We went for them. You know, Wilson got in behind a couple of times, had a real good battle with Gabriel, I think, most of the first half. Gordon looked lively, buzzing around. Miggy looked lively, was popping up all over the place. Joe Linton, absolutely brilliant, back to his beast best. More on him in a bit as well. But yeah, the big kind of, you know, like the touch paper bit of the first half was quite frankly, the disgraceful tackle by Kai Havertz on Sean Longstaff. If you haven't seen it, I've got a slowed down still of this, so brace yourself. X-rated. As you can see there, Havertz flies into Longstaff. Both of his feet are off the ground. It's a bit blurry on the jump there, but both of his feet are off the ground. He was about fucking 10 minutes late. He completely wipes out Longstaff. Longstaff goes and hits the deck. All hell breaks loose. The referee completely bottled it. Give him a yellow card and didn't give him a red card. In my opinion, that is a red card challenge. To me, absolutely a red card challenge. The ref completely lost the game. In that instant, everybody was kicking off, everybody was shouting. After that tackle, he books Havertz, and he books 3 Newcastle players off the back of that for dissent. I think it was Longstaff who got nailed, Fabian Schär and somebody else, I can't remember who it was, all got booked for mouth to Atwell, and everything just went nuts after that, to be honest with you. Everyone was flying at tackles. There was loads of needle going on. The ref kept stopping the game for some queer reason. He stopped the game for 5 or 6 minutes. So Declan Rice to tie his fucking laces at one point. I don't really understand what the hell went on with that. One of our players who was particularly riled up was Bruno. who flew into a challenge very similar to Havertz, missed completely, which was probably a good thing. And then he chased Jorginho and he decided to do a bit of a forearm smash into Jorginho's head. Now, both of these challenges were looked at by VAR. The Havertz one was looked at by VAR and deemed it was reckless but not dangerous. And I think this one was deemed as a forearm smash as opposed to an elbow, or Bruno would have saw red as well. Gary Neville said he should have seen red in the commentary. In the studio, Jamie Carragher was a little bit more subdued about it, a little bit more minded about it, really. And he said that he shouldn't have seen red. It was a yellow card challenge, but Bruno was losing his shit before halftime. So halftime couldn't have come soon enough. Nice chance to go away, get a break. Everybody just calmed down a little bit as well. Came out in the second half. Dan Burn had actually went for a header in the first half and landed quite awkwardly as well. And given the fact that he's about 7 foot, it's a hell of a tumble down for Big Dan Burn. He landed quite bad on his back. He was holding his back quite a lot in the first half. He was still getting involved in the play. He was going for headers and everything else as well, but you could see him holding his back, and you thought, that's not good. He doesn't look good at all. Half time comes, Dan Burn comes out with his big coat on. He sits on the bench and you think, all right, he's coming off. I wasn't sure whether Lewis Hall was going to come on for Big Dan Burn, but it wasn't actually him. It was Livramento, which is what a lot of Newcastle fans have been asking for, wanting to see. And Livramento came on at right back, and Trips moved over to left back. And I think a few of you have already shouted this out. Livramento was excellent, absolutely excellent. Again, Brian's giving him a shout out there in the comments. I thought he was fantastic. He's just got such a great defensive play about him. His reading of the game, his kind of positional sense, and he's got that raw pace, just to kind of get around the pitch and putting those challenges. You're right, Magpies. Bruno does need to be careful. He does get a little bit emotional and gets a bit wound up. But going back to Tino Livramento, I think there's a couple of one-on-ones with Martinelli, who's rapid as well, and he did so well that he won the tackle again. He does that thing where he gives the winger a yard because he's got the pace catch up, and he flies into a tackle, and he just looked really comfortable there again. We've seen him against Man City's reserves, who are still a very good team. Manchester United's more or less first team, bar a couple of exchanges here or there, and he was man of the match in that as well. And he comes in against Arsenal, against Martinelli, and he looks absolutely brilliant as well. I don't know how bad the injury is to Dan Burn, but I'm thinking Dortmund on Tuesday night, you could easily see Livramento right back and Trips left back, I think, unless Burn can shake off that back injury. But I thought Livramento was absolutely sensational. I really did. Going into the game, obviously, we're pressing. And then about the 64th minute, we made some changes just before that. Joe Willock comes on, looks brilliant again, lively, buzzing, moving around. Wilson comes off. Moves Anthony Gordon to centre forward again. One of my mates actually texted me and said, I don't like Gordon in the centre forward role. And literally about 3 minutes after that, Gordon pops up and gets the goal on the 64th minute. This is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. I was losing my marbles watching this on the TV. So I think it's Murphy crosses the ball. It whips across the front of goal. Joe Willock puts on the burners, catches the ball. It almost looks like it's just gone out of play, and he nicks it back in with his foot, puts in a great cross. Joe Linton's at the back stick, goes for a header. I think it's Gabriel leans down as Joe Linton's going for the header. So his weight and momentum is pulling Joe Linton down for the header. So the ball then bounces to Anthony Gordon, who smashes at the back net. We're 1-0 up. St James's Park erupts and goes nuts. And then here comes the VAR decision. The VAR decision, right? One of three, by the way, 3 VAR decisions. Like, how desperate were they to rule this goal out? Honestly, it was unbelievable. So the first one is, did the ball go out to play? They're looking at it again. It's so tight. They looked at it so many times, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You could argue it maybe just slightly went up. I don't think the whole ball was out. So that one was waved away. And then they're checking for a possible foul for Joe Linton on Gabriel. And you're thinking, what the fuck is going on? That one gets waved away. And then the third one is Anthony Gordon offside, which for me, neither 3 of them were plausible at all. And thank God Stockley Park got it right, and they kept the goal ruled in, and Gordon peels away again and celebrates in one of those delayed celebrations, and we're 1-0 up, and it was absolutely class. It really was, just to see the lads getting their just desserts. In my opinion, they played so well in the game. They were aggressive. They held their shape really well. They broke really well in Arsenal. They weren't overawed by Arsenal at all. They were getting stuck right in. I think the one Arsenal player for me that really stood out with being a real class act tonight was Declan Rice again. Just the way he goes back and makes challenges. He drives that team forward. He's such a good player. It's the kind of player that we would have loved to have signed in the summer, but as I said, we're not quite there yet. I said that in the preview. But I thought the lads in midfield did really well. In particular, my man of the match, I'm just looking at some of yours in a minute, I'll pull them up, but my man of the match was Joe Linton. I thought Joe Linton was absolutely superb. He did lose the ball a few times, but his general play, getting back, making challenges, bursting forward, taking the ball, the challenge he puts in on Rice at the end just kind of typifies for me how good of a game that he had. Obviously, he's involved in the lead up to the goal. He was back and forth up and down that park. He looked like the Joe Linton of old, the beast midfielder that we rely on so much as a team to get results, especially in big games like this where it's backs against the wall. But it's a bit of needle where you've got to hold shape. You've got to concentrate and mark dangerous players. I thought Joe Linton was superb tonight. George is saying his man of the match was toss-up between Shaw and Lascelles. Lascelles was a really close second for me, George. I thought Lascelles was excellent. And again, he just continues that improvement as a player. He looks calmer on the ball. He's not rash. He makes good challenges. He makes good decisions when the ball's at his feet as well. And I think Howe has improved him so much as a player. Just a testament to Eddie Howe's coaching abilities again, really, and Jason Tyndall and the rest of the team. But yeah, Lascelles was really close for man of the match for me as well. Marcus in the comments saying after pussy pass at a level where there are no bed bugs, George. I don't know what that means. I've just pulled out. I must have jumped in the middle of a conversation there. I imagine Arteta was moaning like fuck on Sky as we speak, which is good, and I enjoy that. I will watch that later and laugh my head off over some popcorn. Yes, Duncan, it was a great result, mate. Absolutely, 100%. Another comment there from Neil saying, Carroll was a wanker on the Longstaff challenge. I don't like seeing players around the ref. Yeah, I did see that, which is quite ironic because, Manchester United in the 90s and Liverpool used to do that quite a lot. So I think David Carragher's got a little short memory, I think, on that one. John's Kitchen is saying the ref had a right fanny fart. Yeah, booking our team left, right and centre. Absolutely, mate. I thought that was shocking by the referee. It just goes to show you that, thank God that we were able to stay in that game and push on despite the referee. I think we won that game in spite of the bad referee and, nothing to do with the referee himself. He wasn't great for Arsenal either. I think some of the decisions, some of you've already said in the comments, Bruno was very lucky not to be red carded. And I think Arteta will definitely say that. I think the Arsenal fans on their content channels will be saying that as well. But listen, it is what it is. Havertz should have had a red card, in my opinion. Not only for that one, in the second half, he goes right through Wilson as well. If you're not going to give him a red card for the first one, you give him a second yellow for that one. He should have had a red card. So Atwell totally bottled that, in my opinion. As Ronald says there, the referee was horseshit, but we won anyway. Absolutely, mate. I thought you're 100% right with that one. I just think the referee was dreadful. Absolutely dreadful. Brian is saying for him, Lascelles was man of the match. Same with Ronald as well. Yeah, it was a close second for me, lads. I just think that Joe Linton just edged it for me, especially with him being involved in the goal. Steve McGarry is saying it did look offside, but very hard to see the touch. Yeah, this is the thing. Who did it come off? Did it bounce off Gabriel? Did it bounce off Joe Linton? So it's really, really hard to make that call. But it just seemed like everything was against us, really, for that goal. They were desperately trying to rule that out. So I'm just glad that it didn't. Yeah, William, great team effort. It just goes to show you the work rate in this team is just brilliant. It's just brilliant. Injuries galore. They counted him at the start of the game. Isak, Barnes, Botman. Murphy was meant to be out, but he was back. Tonali suspended. Even Louis Miley out as well. Anderson out. Louis Miley back in the bench. Great to see. But loads of players missing from the starting lineup. Massive players as well. Players that could have won that game for us on their own in the shape of Alexander Isak and even Harvey Barnes. Gordon gets a chance, I think, in the first half that I even said to my mate, Barnes would probably put that away because he's a better finisher, but he's not as quick as Gordon. But as it turns out, Gordon's a match winner, so fuck it. We'll enjoy it. Convo Tino is pure quality fire. He is, for such a young lad as well, he just doesn't look phased. You put him into games like that, even off the bench, and he just looks so calm. I can see now why we paid, 35 raising at 40 million quid for this kid. It's a snip, to be honest with you. The fact that Trippier could just go on the left-hand side and defensively, more than offensively, I thought Trippier was brilliant on the left-hand side, especially that bit at the end when the cross comes in and he's just got that presence of mind to duck, let the ball go over his head. He's got Saka rushing on him there, and he's got, was it Zinchenko as well, and he's just not phased. Trippier at left back. So I can definitely see if Burners out, I think Livramento will stay at right back and Trippier will go to left back for Dortmund. Some fireworks going off outside my house here, just like St James's. Jack is saying Declan Rice is a brilliantly bottled nothing tonight. I think Declan Rice is class, Jack. And even in the moment everyone was going nuts And he was just looking. Was it the crowd he was looking at? He was just going, "Everyone just calm down." I think Declan Rice is brilliant. I think he's an absolute leader. I think he will take Arsenal to a level that they need to be at. But the biggest problem that Arsenal have, and I'm sure the Arsenal fans will say this more than me, they don't have a centre forward. Nketiah was anonymous tonight. He was up against two really good centre halves, strong, quick in the cells, and just really clever in terms of his positional sense. In Shaw, some of the tackles Share put in, again, brilliant. Some of those pings from the back to start us on the attack as well. And then you've got Trippier and Burn, and then obviously Livramento and Trippier in the end. So Nketiah was getting no change from that back four. Neither was Bukayo Saka, who's a great player. It just goes to show you how well we marked him. Even when Burn was there, I thought Burn did really well against him. Obviously the back injury takes him out, but I thought Burn did really well. Trips did really well against Bukayo Saka when he came in. And yeah, we defend so well as a team. I think that's what makes us really, really hard to beat as well. So Brian is saying, yeah, Chris, please say we'll get beat every week. That's right. I did say we'll get beat, Brian. Yeah, give it to me, mate. Absolutely. I'm normally really positive, but I just felt Arsenal had too much quality with our patched up side. But hey, I was wrong, and I'm happy to be wrong, mate. For Jack Lascelles, man of the match again. Yeah, big shout out for Jamal as well. He really has shut a few people up, including myself. I thought he was championship. I didn't think he was good enough to be in the squad, but it just goes to show you that these players do have further levels, and they've got the right manager to get those further levels out of those players. And even Richie, as much as his legs have gone, he's using his brain a bit more. Maybe that's off the coach and staff as well. Just telling them, don't run after every ball, Matt. Just kind of pick your moments. And it's that experience and that calmness that he brings to the pitch. I actually text Mark and said, "Oh, is Louis Miley going to come on? Get Bruno off, calm him down a little bit. Just make sure he doesn't do anything stupid the last couple of minutes." But then obviously Richie come on. And Mark texted me back and just said experience, one word. And you can understand that, to be fair, because, I think that's what Matt Ritchie does, bring in those moments. Mind you, bringing another like Matt Ritchie into that powder keg is a dangerous game. But he's obviously a bit older, a bit wiser now. Yeah, Semper Tempest, 2-2, absolutely, mate. Great result. And again, just maybe one that none of us expected, I suppose, really, but a fantastic result nonetheless. What we got here? Yeah, Simon said, "Can't wait to see Captain Scarlet's wig out." Was it you that said Captain Scarlet the other day, Simon? That is absolutely bang on, mate. He really does look like Captain Scarlet. Fantastic analysis, mate. We got Bri said he thought Lascelles was excellent. I thought he was excellent as well. Bri just narrowly misses out man of the match for me, because I just thought Joe Linton was sensational tonight. Luke was saying that we was lucky, but fuck me, what a result. Redward shit. Again, another team effort. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, red card, I think you might mean there, mate. But yeah, the red card should have happened for Havertz. And again, obviously, Bruno is a very lucky man not to see red probably as well. Yeah, Eddie Howe for King, says Brian. To be fair, though, I think Eddie Howe was, again, I think he should have won Manager of the Year when he kept this up. But, if he keeps going the way he's going, he's got to be a contender for Manager of the Year. But they'll probably give it to Pep, as they always do. You're right, Hugh Jass. We are massive. Absolutely. Love your handle name as well, mate. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Williamson, special mention for Murphy for going out there with his shoulder. Huge heart. Yeah, just a bit on Murphy. It was a real shame. He burst through. And I think he just kind of went to push the player off, and then straight away he stopped. And his shoulder went out of socket, dislocated. I think one of the medical staff popped it back in, and he just went off. You could just see he was heartbroken when he went off. Jacob Murphy was such a shame, and I just hope he hasn't done any further damage, on that shoulder, as Mark says there in the admin. Gutted for Murphy, the Martin Riggs of Newcastle now. He is. He's just not as crazy, I think, but he's got the scars to prove it. Paul is saying that VAR took around 5 minutes to find an obvious mistake. Shocking. Yeah, I mean, VAR was terrible tonight. I thought it really was. It just seemed like it was designed to try and screw Newcastle out of the result, which isn't what it's designed for. Mark by saying, feel for Murphy, we could do with him too, with Almiron's refusal to knock a ball in with his right. Yeah, it's weird that, because Almiron did so well on the left, didn't he, against Manchester United in the Cup. I just wonder whether he wouldn't have won out there, to be fair. But it is what it is. Ian is saying, fantastic result. We are in it now. We definitely are in it now, Ian. I think even Sky, the proverbial greedy six arse kissers, even had to say, now Newcastle, you got to take them seriously. And what I did like, actually, about what Gary Neville said, he was talking about Arsenal's inability to take games by the scruff of the neck. And he said, when they're in the big games against the big teams, that's when they don't do it. So he's talking about us. So they know we're there. They know we're part of that equation now. We are a big team. regardless of what all these little wanks say on their little channels when they're talking about Newcastle, just a flash in the pan or whatever. We are there now. We are deemed as one of the big teams to play against, and these teams know they've got to show up against Newcastle, or that's going to happen to them. That's exactly what happened to Arsenal today. They didn't have the fight for it. They didn't have the balls for it, and we took it to them, and we won the game. And that's exactly what, despite a rubbish referee that was giving them everything, for a period of time as well, and stopped the game so Declan Rice could do his hair and tie his laces. Jazzfoot said, never thought I'd say this, but Lascelles man of the match, outstanding. Yeah, I feel like I've done Lascelles dirty here by not giving the man of the match, but I just had to put Joe Linton in there. I thought Joe Linton was absolutely mint, to be fair. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with Tyndall and Arteta, John, at the start. Probably just because Tyndall's a wind-up merchant, isn't he, really? And Arteta's just a prick, isn't he? He's just got the tiniest little fuse, and he anything sets him off, really, doesn't it? So, I'm not really bothered. Arteta winds me up the sideline. I just think he's like a fucking toddler screaming there's no biscuits left. Marty Mark saying, what a game, absolutely, mate. Talk about touch and cloth. This squad is amazing, mate. They are, mate. They absolutely are. Whenever we just think that, a game is too much for them to prove us wrong, or me certainly, and they pull out a great result. Dean in the comments saying that Saliba and Rice for them were immense. I thought Saliba was good. We rolled our sleeves up and fought for everything. Amazing graft from our well-drilled side. Unreal work rate, absolutely. We've got to do all again on Tuesday against Dortmund as well, which is no mean feat. No mean feat at all. But nice to have some players back. I hope Murphy isn't too badly injured, but I've got a bad feeling about that one. Gary's saying we're now beating top 4 teams. Progress. Absolutely, mate. We're a team that they fear. They should fear us as well, mate. They really, really should, because why wouldn't you? Newcastle, especially in front of that home crowd, when they're up. I mean, that tackle almost ignited the crowd. We went a bit quiet for a bit. And then Havertz does that stupid tackle, and he almost had the adverse effect of quieting the crowd down. He wound everybody up, the players, the coaching staff, and the crowd. And the crowd were on them, booing him every time he had the ball, cheering the lads when they were winning it back. So he almost ignited the reaction from the Newcastle faithful as well. So thanks for that, Havertz. And he's shit, by the way. He's dreadful, isn't he? What was he, 60-odd million quid? He's fucking awful. Simon saying Waddle Prime amongst those ex-players who absolutely hate us with passion. Absolutely, mate. Yeah. Chris Waddle definitely does. He's an absolute knacker. Brian saying he's got to admit Joe Linton was an absolute beast. Honest, when you look at the players we've sold for 100 million, wonder what Joe Linton would be worth. You're right. Joe Linton was absolutely superb. He does that, Joe. He just gets back to that optimum fitness level that Joe Linton is. I think it was actually him that Byrne fell over to do his backing, to be honest with you. But yeah, I think Joe Linton at his best. There's not many players that can hang with him. Even you could see Rice when they had that tackle at the end. There's respect from Rice there, because he knows what a player Joe Linton is. And Declan Rice is probably one of the best, if not the best, defensive midfielder in the league. But he knows he's in for a battle when he's playing up against Joe Linton in fair play. Comment there from Rob Caven Photography. Going to be a great day here in New Zealand. Thanks for tuning all the way from New Zealand, mate. With the start, well done, boys. Bruno for UFC 295. I tell you what, he keeps throwing them sly forearm smashes around, mate. He'll be taking on McGregor next, won't he? My God, he's looking for a fight. McGregor. Bruno might step up. He has to stop chewing that gum. He might choke on it when he rolls over and does the jiu-jitsu holds. Ian saying, great result. Bruno's a lucky boy, yeah, but my God, they tried so hard to rule the goal out. They really did, mate. They really did. Coming there from William, I find it absolutely shameful as we watch a game like that, trying to convince the watching paying public are wrong and try and find everything they can to cancel our goal out. Yeah, I don't disagree, William. It seemed to be that way, didn't it? It really, really did. But, we did enough to do it, to be fair, guys. Did enough to do it. Yeah, as Autumn, Vicky Danny says that Arsenal's best player was the ref. Absolutely. Gibbo has slipped in the comments. Good to see you, Gibbo. Toon, absolutely, mate. I think everyone will be screaming that from the rooftops tonight. I've got Gary in the comments saying, was that poorest game of the season by miles. We come out on top again. Yeah, absolutely, mate. It was a great result. Absolutely great result. Well, tell them not to listen then, Mark. Honestly, I'm just about to say something nice about you as well, by the way. So it is bonfire night tomorrow, everybody, but it's also the stat man Mark's birthday. So give him some birthday love in the comments, even though he's giving me grief about my potty mouth. His kids should know better than to tune and listen to that. It's even in the description that he writes on every single episode. But yeah, give Mark some birthday love in the comments before we nip off in 5 minutes, because he'll be celebrating that victory, I'm sure, having a cheeky whiskey later on. Oh, did Dortmund get beat tonight? Did they look? I didn't even see that result. That's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, it's a shame Bruno's missing for the Bournemouth game, Magpies. But I think having Miley back is good for the squad depth as well. And Joe Willock getting more and more fitness. Joe Willock will come in. You've got Miley off the bench to come off. In terms of that, extra squad rebuild. And I'm not that I'm happy that Bruno is suspended, but no disrespect, it is Bournemouth. And, we've got some players to come in, so it's not too bad. If he was missing a Dortmund game, I'd be a bit annoyed, obviously, to be fair. Wish Tonali had been. Do you know, Tonali, I was just thinking about Tonali when I watched him in the crowd looking on. He would have been desperate to play in a game like that, Hugh. He really would have been, as a combative midfielder like he is, he'd be livid he couldn't play in that game, especially when that tackle went in on Sean. He'd have been one of the first ones, I think, to absolutely half Havertz after that, because he's got that in his locker, and he'll be devastated. But, he's made that mistake. He's going to have to pay the price, isn't he? To be fair. Yeah, Brian, yeah, you're right. Willock looked dead sharp when he come on. I think Willock is that spark that brought the game into life, to be honest with you. And I love Joe Willock. I just think he looks even better. He come back from injury. Billy's in the comments. Billy's on the Toon Review. He's probably been doing the match commentary, so big shout out to Billy. The guys do a great job. He's probably just having a little bit of a breather now after that high octane game. But one on Desire alone, love blood and thunder battles like that. I do as well, but it's a real throwback to the football that I loved watching growing up, mate. Some of the games that don't have enough of that now, but I absolutely love that. But he's not sure the old ticket does. Have yourself a nice chamomile tea or something, Billy, and calm down, mate. Calm down. But yeah, a brilliant result, man. I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. Gibbo just saying Tino quality again, echoed by Gary. Absolutely. We're back up to 6. Great shout, Brian, as well. A little bit of birthday cake magic coming in for Mark there, if he has seen it in the comments. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 21 times 2, George. He just said that, actually. That's how slow I am with the comments there. Yeah, I'm not saying plus the VAT. He's not that old. Billy thinks you're a little bit older than that, Mark, to be fair. So but thank you so much for the birthday love for Mark, guys. That's really nice of you to do. But yeah, what a great game. Just, it always makes you feel better, doesn't it, when Newcastle do that and just pull out a performance like that. We've done those kind of games in the past when we've struggled as a side, when we've been poor, and these are like the only highlights we have to look forward to. But there's so many more games that are happening now at this brilliant ground with this brilliant squad in front of that brilliant support. And long may it continue. Absolutely long may it continue. God, Dortmund got smashed 4-0. Harry Kane hat-trick. He is on fire over there, isn't he? My God. He's breaking all kind of goal-scoring records. But yeah, that'd be good to see them get battered there. They go one of two ways. They'll either come and bring it on the Tuesday to get a result, or like Arsenal getting beat midweek, they'll struggle against Newcastle United. But listen, we'll bring them on. As far as I'm concerned, we can beat anybody at the minute. We really, really could. Arteta's whinging already, is he, Ronald? Brilliant. I will watch that in a little bit as well. But listen, that's me done, guys. I think just a quick match reaction. Thank you so much to everybody who's tuned in on the lives. Love it. Always helps the episode flow. And as I mentioned at the start, if you are new to the channel and you just check us out for the first time, smash subscribe. We'd love you to come and join us. Like the video if you can as well. Help the channel grow. We're over that 5,500 mark. We're trying to aim to get to the 6,000 if we can. We're a little bit behind the Toon Review, Billy, so we're catching you up, mate, slowly but surely. But yeah, smash that button, guys. If you want to become a member and give a bit back to the channel, it's less than £2 a month. You get exclusive access to all the videos, the rants, the previews, the transfer videos, everything else. So it's well worth $1.99 a month, less than a pint of lager. What a brilliant result for Newcastle. Just got a little comment there just at the end. Crypto, thank you so much for your donation. $10 from Crypto Rambo. He's over the moon. The fucking crappy pundits will make it all about Arsenal and nothing about us. That's okay. We're flying under the radar. He's visiting Newcastle in April from LA. Excited. Fantastic, Crypto. Will you enjoy it, mate? Hopefully you'll get to take a game in, because that'll be an absolutely superb experience for you. Going to the ground is like nothing you've experienced, mate. If you've been to Newcastle in the past, you go to Newcastle now, and honestly, you're floating on air, mate. You could fly back to the States just on morale alone. But that's me done, guys. Have a cracking night, whatever you're doing, everybody. Great to see you. Have a few beers. How are the lads? Up to 6. Bring on Dortmund. We'll catch you later, everybody. Cheers now.